Hey everyone, we know you're about to watch some great content, but here, us, the Ring Generals, want to just shout out our social media really quick. We're on YouTube, we're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, and obviously, like our shirts.
Well, my shirt is it's Godflesh, but shout outs to them. But yes, follow these shirts.
Yeah.
Check them out.
And what's in common with these?
It's you gotta stay black. Okay?
You gotta stay black.
Stay black? It sounds like a complete disaster, bro.
Oh,
What you gonna do about it?
What you gonna do about it?
I'm gonna say some crazy ish on Ryan Rants.
All right, stay tuned.
And you might see his indie update, and you might get some random stuff with my stuff.
But I'm gonna say some crazy ish on Ryan Rants.
Yeah.
We are the Ring Generals. Raise a glass in the sky
And salute the Ring Generals.
Welcome everybody to the Ring Generals, a special edition of the Ring Generals. That is, I am Eric Santos. Joining me is the Rkjman. What's going on, Rkjman?
Let's talk that talk, y'all. And I thought they said they weren't gonna be competition, man. I thought they said they weren't gonna be competition, man. But man, that pisshead company's doing more than pisshead company things. I'm telling y'all, man.
Small little company, that is, or independent organization, from what people would say. If you ask me.
Our good friend Nick, who's not doing the show with us today. He's out tending to some business. He said, hey, they've got to do this, they got to do this, they got to do this in order for them to be major. Well, they're doing all the things that we want them to do. So they're becoming more and more major by the day, it seems. And they're just growing steam. And they're only a 7-month promotion. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I still can't believe they got the deal with TNT, man.
It's insane, if anything, how much has progressed in the last, 7 months since it's been announced the beginning of this year. We were having like so many different scenarios that can play out for AEW, even before they even had their first pay-per-view, Double or Nothing, and their small pay-per-views like Fighter Fest and Fight for the Fallen, and now All Out's coming up, and then all of a sudden now they have their TV deal on Wednesdays, October 2nd, 2019. A lot in a way has progressed. Not only I think the fans in a way kind of helped it just to make it more into a big hype, and so many, not just fans, but I think wrestlers and other veterans alike who want to be part of AEW or even these pay-per-views, let alone, and StarCast as well, if you ask me.
Yeah, I think what AEW has done is they've maintained their buzz, whether it's been positive or negative publicity. And like I've said it, even on our Ring Journals thing, I always say to you guys, hey, if it's negative, somebody's talking about it. So that obviously puts eyeballs on their product. Same thing with AEW. Cody gets bashed over the head with the steel chair. Everybody's talking about concussions and how that shouldn't be happening. But guess what? AEW, people are still talking about them. People are still tuned in to Fighter Fest and Fight for the Fallen. People are still watching their YouTube content, Road to All Out. So guess what? Any publicity is good publicity. And now they get the ultimate publicity with a network like TNT backing them. That is a huge, huge asset as we go into the fall. Now, Eric, I have a question for you. We're going to keep this short and simple.
Yeah.
All right. I'm very surprised that they're running this at Capital One Arena in Washington, D.C. I tweeted this out. It's a Vince McMahon territory, a Vince McMahon area where a lot of shows from WWE and, of course, WCW, as some people have mentioned, have been run at. But the fact of the matter remains is Cody Rhodes, the Young Bucks, Tony Khan, Omega, they've all talked about how they wanted to run smaller, more intimate venues and sell the place out when they go to TNT. Yet they're running Capital One Arena for their first show. What do you think about this? Are you concerned that if they don't sell out, it's gonna be a little bad for them, or are you actually looking forward to this and you think this is a good move based off the success of pay-per-views like All Out selling out?
Well, at first, let's look at it this way. I kind of think of it more like a risky move, but then I feel like Capital One, the organizers, they have more faith in AEW because they've been seeing some of the arenas like MGM Grand, the Sears Center, being sold out in less than 14 or even 4 minutes. Those tickets just sell out quickly. And Capital One, I believe they have. Oh yeah, and I feel like Capital One, they have faith, a lot of faith that AEW, their fans, they're gonna sell out. Like those tickets are gonna sell out. So they have that mindset. And I think in the long run, maybe in the future, we might see AEW have their shows being hosted in small venues later on. I think that was probably the original plan, but maybe Capital One may have reached out to AEW for that. I don't know. I don't know how the details are. Either AEW reached out to them or Capital One reached out to AEW. But I think it's a risky move, but then at the same time, it's a good move. Just the only thing that just makes me, I've been thinking about this, and I'm wondering if the stages for AEW are going to look the same. Because if you look at it,
Uh,
have you seen the stages for like Double or Nothing and Fighter Fest
yeah,
looking
they've,
similar?
they've all been the same, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they've got something special up their sleeve for All Out, or if this is just going to be their permanent stage to save money and cost. But I kind of want something different. I kind of like a different type of stage and venue for a pay per view compared to a show. Have an established stage for a show that's cool, that's intimate, that feels good, that looks very technological savvy, and then have a different type of venue for pay per view.
Right.
I don't necessarily, one of my downfalls and one of my drawbacks from these last couple pay per views, Fighter Fest, Fault for the Fallen, is that they've been the same sets as Double or Nothing. So I'm hoping when we go to All Out that we see a different set and that it changes.
Yeah, definitely. I think just having different stages and different, in a way, lighting might help out. Although you can keep the ring, black, the black ropes, gray rope. Really? You're not
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, of course.
yeah,
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 absolutely,
yep,
absolutely.
yeah,
No,
because
I meant no. You don't want to change that. That's
right,
different. Maybe have gold ropes maybe black and gold ropes maybe every now and then when it's a big occasion or something like an all out. Maybe you want something cool like that. But nah, they're doing a great job of what they're doing right now. They're doing a great job. They just need to think about these themes as we get closer and closer to October, because now it's becoming a reality. It's no longer talk; it's reality.
yeah, and their big pay-per-view is coming up next month. We are almost getting through the month of July, getting to the month of August, and then before you know it, get to September, and then after that, we go to October, October 2nd, 2019, their first episode on
There.
TNT, or like Ted Turner would say, "Hey Vince, I'm back in the wrestling business."
Back in the wrestling business, bro. Look, man, let me ask you another question, okay? Do you think that we will see All Elite Wrestling march into Vince's real big time territory, MSG? Because if let's say for instance, they have to tarper off Raw and SmackDown in MSG come September. And let's say AEW waltzes on in there, gets a deal with MSG, and they sell out. How do you think Vince is going to feel then? They're walking into Vince's territories now, and Vince's prime territory, MSG, and they're selling out. How do you think they're going to feel?
Well, I don't know because like has it been confirmed that AEW might be on MSG or has there like been any reports about it?
The first show. What I'm doing is I'm playing speculator. I'm
Mhm.
playing devil's advocate. I love playing devil's advocate here on the Ring Journals podcast. So if AEW sells out MSG and the WWE can't sell out MSG and they got to tarper off sections for Raw and SmackDown, which is what they've been doing the past couple of
Yeah.
years, the product's been so damn bad. And the fact of the matter is this: AEW has done what I said that they were going to do in the first place: get in WWE's money.
Well, if you're speculating and if you think that AEW might go to MSG, I mean, they will do it, but I don't think not right now. I don't think not right now. But the idea of having their event being sold out at MSG AEW, I think that there's a possibility that they might sell out maybe under 20 minutes, 15 minutes. I think so.
My friend, if they sell out Capital One Arena in a good time when they release tickets, I think they said July 29th they would have ticket information. I don't know if it's going to be released on the Monday to 29th. Y'all let us know in the comment. If they release this thing and all of a sudden people are buying this thing like hot Cheetos, okay, and they release this thing, guess what? Okay, MSG won't be too far away because that will give AEW the confidence to go out to MSG, to go out to a Staples Center out here, to go out to these other big venues and arenas and say, hey, we got Capital One Arena. That's a major arena in Washington, D.C., a major country, a major state, a major area. And guess what? We got the opportunity to sell this thing out, we can bring this type of excitement to your venue in your city. It makes sense. It's a good deal. So AEW is doing some great things, and they're stepping in Vince's territory. And I've said this before, the WWE and Vince has a couple of months to step their game up, to step it up, to get their house in order. And they've been trying to do that with this whole Eric Bischoff and Paul Heyman thing. We really haven't commented on the channel about this. But there still remains to be seen some significant changes, okay? WWE this past Monday night did a nostalgia act, and it was fantastic. 3 million viewers. But in the words of Dusty Rhodes talking to Paul Heyman one time, where's the money? Where's the money? Where's the build for SummerSlam? Where's the build for the future in October? Where's the build for these superstars now? Where is the true money at? You just hotshot it for ratings, whereas AEW, they might put it on the belt on Jericho just for that nostalgia act to get people viewing again. Or what they're going to do is they're going to utilize their true superstars to get you in front and to get you hooked. First show.
Yeah, I mean, well, this Raw reunion act wasn't a build-up for SummerSlam at all. It was just a way just to bring back the old and casual fans just to get views on Raw.
We don't have that much time left to SummerSlam.
No,
and other people said this too, and I don't want to steal other podcaster stuff, okay? But when you're a few weeks away from one of your biggest pay-per-view of the year, what many consider to be your second biggest pay-per-view of the year, you gotta find a way to incorporate that into every show, and they haven't done it.
So the Crown Jewel or the Super Showdown doesn't count.
F Crown Jewel, F Super Showdown, okay? F them going all the way to Saudi Arabia, okay? F the Undertaker showing up there, and then we set out in the damn cold in freaking MetLife Stadium hoping the Undertaker would show up, and he never showed up. All right?
Yeah, he showed up the next night on Raw.
Undertaker shows up in Extreme Rules, but he doesn't show up at damn WrestleMania. Bullshit. I'm calling it right now. Bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the thing with Taker, he can't work that schedule anymore. But in a way, it's kind of weird how he doesn't show up at WrestleMania. Or, well, he does show up occasionally, like some of these, maybe once or twice, 2 or 3 times a year. I don't know. One of those. But, it's a rare thing for him to show up, and he can't work that schedule. But SummerSlam, like you said, it's the second best pay-per-view, whether WWE wants to consider it or not, or he wants to consider Crown Jewel or Super Showdown to be the next pay-per-views, like the next 2 new pay-per-views or house shows.
Shows.
It was just glorified house shows. That's what they are. I mean, they're not going to be big as WrestleMania. They're not going to be big as SummerSlam. They got to stay in their lane in a way. But that's just how it is. But SummerSlam, they only got a couple weeks. Yeah, they only got a couple weeks to get their matches in order. I felt like this Raw reunion was, I hate to say it, but I felt like it was a waste. Really, there was no build up for anything.
Now, obviously, this isn't a WWE Raw discussion. This is about AEW.
No. But I just wanted to get that out of the way.
But yeah, I do have one final question because I know we're going to keep this short. How will Vince McMahon react to this news? Do you think that NXT will be on FS1 come the fall to compete with AEW? And will there be some changes made to NXT? For example, they're in Full Sail. Will they take it to other venues? Or will they keep it in Full Sail? This reminds me of the TNA situation, okay? When TNA moved to Monday nights, they stayed in the Impact Zone. We kind of saw it from a viewer's perspective. Didn't necessarily go over very well. I don't know if AEW does their show in Capital One Arena and then NXT tries to does it from Full Sail, if that's going to get over very well with Vince and company. And then I don't think they're going to get the ratings that they want. Number 2, okay, with them going to FS1, will it be live or will it be taped? So let me ask you this. What do you think is going to happen? How will Vince respond? Because as I said on our Twitter, it's Vince's move. It's Triple H's move. JD from New York says it's Vince's move, but we're not JD from New York.
I know, like, emotionally from facial expressions, Vince will not show it. I know he might give, complete creative freedom to Heyman and Bischoff for the time being. But it will show just by seeing how the product for Raw and SmackDown it will show over time. For NXT, I think the right move will have to be better off live, because if it's going under FS1, maybe FS1 from their perspective, they might want it live. I don't think they would want it taped, because FS1, knowing them, they do pretty good for their for their live viewership. I think they do pretty good. They've done it for UFC Fight Night before, so I think that the better move for NXT to do is go live, for FS1, and I think that's how you do. I think that's how you do good business, instead of just not going to the network. And for anything, I think it'll give more people who don't want to purchase the network or anything like that. They'll go to FS1, and it'll be much more easier for them to access and watch NXT. It's just a matter of just having easier access to watching these wrestling shows for NXT, WWE, even AEW on TNT as well.
Yeah, I'm torn with the FS1 NXT thing, because well, I know it's counter programming. How good is your counter programming? It's not a matter of you counter programming. It's about how good in the promotion, because TNT's already gotten a jump start on the FS1 situation by doing it now. I'm pretty sure TNT executives were going to wait a little bit into August, but once all these rumors started leaking out about WWE and FS1 possibly counteracting AEW on Wednesday nights, I think what TNT executives and Tony Khan and them decided was, let's get the buzz out right now. Let's start this thing right now. It's pretty much public knowledge anyway, because Dave Meltzer has been leaking it. I mean, it's pretty much public knowledge anyway. So let's get it all out early so we can start the promotion early so we can get a leg up. So that way we're in the fast lane before they announce it. So
we already knew that it was going to be October. We already knew it was going to be in October, but we didn't know like the exact date, or it was going to be either on a Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yeah,
that's what we didn't know.
Yeah, and Tony kind of he's like, it's no secret now. It's either on Tuesday or Wednesday nights. We're not competing with anybody until the WWE started getting ideas with FS1. Here's WWE NXT could be in some serious trouble if they go to FS1. And I'm going to tell you a couple of reasons very quickly. Number one, if you go into Full Sail Arena, okay, and you try to do shows in Full Sail Arena on a Wednesday night in October, it may not sell out every week compared to when you do a taping a month. So right now what NXT does is they do, I think, tapings like once or twice a month. They do it there. They pack out the arena. It's big, it's comfortable, the lighting is nice. If you try to do this thing live, with college students being on campus, being stressed out about tests and stuff, you're going to invite people to come out. October, it usually kind of gets a little nippy in the air. People might not be willing to come out as much. Okay, all right, that's the first question I have, and the first problem I have. Is the venue going to be as hot as it is when we see it on tapings every Wednesday night when they're live, if they're live? Two, if you're taped, it's not going to look good. Taped inside a Full Sail Arena with only a 1 hour show, that ain't going to counter program AEW. AEW is still going to beat you for another hour from 9 to 10. You can't move NXT for 2 hours without signing more talent and doing more things with the characters. So you can screw that over. They're not going to win that. Three, if they try to take it on the road, how much will they sell out? We've seen it before. NXT has even have to tarp off some of their sections when they've done some of these takeovers. We went to Staples Center last year for Survivor Series, and Aaron Rift, who we interacted with from No DQ, even mentioned the fact that some areas when we went to takeover was tarpered off. So will that happen? These are the things that the WWE has to think about come October. Are you going to really be that true alternative to AEW and that true competition? Because while there's running it on the same night, people can watch AEW and then come over to the network and everybody's good. But if you're trying to counter programming, you're going to make people make a decision. And if people are making a decision and switching over to NXT and they don't like what they're seeing, they're going to switch back to AEW and they're not going to switch back. So It's not good. And for people who are saying, well, they're going to be beating NXT anyway. So if they beat NXT, no big deal. It is a big deal because it's run by Triple H, who's the heir apparent to Vince McMahon. So if he can't beat AEW, how do you think it's going to be when AEW possibly gets moved if they're successful? That's something nobody's talking about. Nobody's talking about the fact if AEW does really well in their time slot, TNT could get some ideas about moving them to a better time slot and a better night. So watch out for that.
So it just grows and grows. If, from one network, it just keeps, if AEW does really good, then maybe the possibility they might move them to Monday nights or Friday nights. Yeah, that's me.
Well, let's get AEW with some good ratings first. And
Yeah, that's true.
I think apparently I've heard this a while ago. They'll be through with 400,000 viewers. Man, I think they can do way more than that, man. If anything, Raw Reunion showed us is that people are still down for the nostalgia acts, and they're still down for some good. They're still down for entertaining characters. And if AEW has that, they can just bring over those fans from Raw Reunion over every Wednesday night. That's 2-3 million people right there. There's 10 million wrestling fans that haven't been watching wrestling. If you can just get 3 or 4 million, you're beating Raw and SmackDown right there.
Yeah,
Not
you're on your way. Yeah,
beating one of those shows. You're beating one of those shows. That's big time, man. That's big time. Another thing I'm concerned about the AEW also is I'm seeing they're going to be at Rock and Rager with Chris Jericho. Are they going to do a Wednesday night, if that's the name, a Wednesday night Dynamite show from Chris Jericho, Rock and Rager? See, because that's scheduled for January 20th to the 24th, and that's right through a Wednesday. So I don't know if they're going to do a tape show or if they're going to do an actual show on the damn boat.
that would be very interesting. That would be very interesting to have AEW their show being held at a boat, or some of their matches at least being held at a boat. That'd be interesting, but also at the same time, it would be probably good, something that wrestling fans haven't seen. The new generation of fans haven't seen, or if I know for a fact that is something for January to discuss. There's still more people to be announced for the boat for that Jericho cruise ship. So only time will tell for that to happen, because remember, wrestlers and artists, guests, comedians, etc., they're still being announced. So there's still a legion of people to be announced for the Jericho cruise for that to happen.